Okay, good. So you can hear me. Okay, so I'm going to start this webinar today on the Oracle Primavera. Okay, before starting this webinar, I'll just give you a small introduction about myself and my company. Okay, so my name is Chirag Kumar Garg. I'm basically professional with experience in project management, training, and implementation. I'm the founder of a company called Exphonic Engineering Services Private Limited, which is basically into the project management services and implementation support services across the globe. I'm basically a corporate trainer for Oracle Primavera P6, Oracle Primavera P6 EPP and Microsoft project. I have trained almost 2,500 plus students, professionals, over 70,500 hours of training. My key area include like project planning, scheduling, resource management, analysis of the project performance. Throughout my professional journey, I've been involved into the Primavera sale, pre-sale support and implementation services. So here's a few corporate list where I've given the corporate training like HML, KEC, Accenture, G Power, Tata, and so on. So these are my Oracle badge where I've earned. I'm basically Oracle Construction and Engineering Solution Specialist. I'm sales specialist. I'm pre-sales specialist. I'm certified in Oracle Primavera Cloud and the schedule management. About talking about my company, this Exphonic Engineering Services Private Limited is specialist in project management consultancy and the solution company servicing client across the globe. We do provide a turnkey solution to the industry. We are associated with the MSME and we are the franchisee owner of the CAD Center and Synergy School of Business Skills. So you might have heard about the CAD Center, which is into the training industry from last 32 years, the Asia largest training services provider in the field of civil design software, mechanical design software, and the project management. These are our associates, like we are associated with the CAD Center, Synergy School of Business Skill, Project Management Institute, which is a USA-based organization. Then Microsoft Project Scrum Study, MSME, we are the gold partner of the Oracle, and we are the workforce development partner for Oracle also. Our services include, we do provide training on project management tools and concept. We are the authorized reseller of Oracle Primavera, and we do provide implementation support like baseline progress schedule, implementation services, risk analysis, delay analysis, bucket planning, monthly progress report and review system we able to generate. So these are the services which we do for the corporates. So that was about me and my company. Now I'll talk about the today's topic, that is the Oracle Primavera. Now, Oracle Primavera is the project management tool. We use Oracle Primavera in the project management to plan and schedule of our projects. Now, before starting into the Oracle Primavera, I would like to start about the project management. I would like to understand from you that how what is the project management, and even before the project management, what is the definition of the project? Okay. So before going into the project management, I would like to ask you, what is the project? So you can type your answer. What do you understand by the project? The definition of the project. You can type your answer. What is project? Okay, so project is basically a temporary endeavor undertaken to create unique products, services, and the results. So there are two terms when we are talking about the project: temporary and the uniqueness. Okay, we call a project when it has the temporary duration. That means it should have a fixed start date and the fixed finish date. Okay, when we're talking about the unique, the project should have the unique uniqueness in the terms of product, in the terms of services, or the result. If anything which we are doing have temporary duration, which will have the uniqueness, we call as the project. If it's not have any uniqueness, then we call as the operation. So we in the project we should have temporary and the uniqueness. These are the two characteristics of the project. When you're talking about the project management, it's basically the application of knowledge, skill, and tools and techniques. Okay, we need to manage the project by utilizing the knowledge which we will get through our experience, by utilizing the skills and the tools and techniques. So tools and techniques are basically the software. Okay, so we have different software in the industry. So today we are going to talk about one software, which is the Oracle Primavera. Now I'm talking about we use these applications to manage the project. Now what does mean by the managing the project? Okay, so managing a project means that we need to balance the triple constant. Now, what is the triple constant? So in the project management, we have triple constant that is called as the scope, your first constant, that basically how what you are going to do, your work. Okay, so time, how much time it is going to be used to complete the scope which is predefined. Then cost, how much cost is going to be involved, how much cost is required to finish your to complete your work. So that is the basically three constant that we need to balance in the project management with the quality everything. As a customer also, whenever you are buying any product or any kind of services, your first priority that I should get the quality. And you can see now a corporate, their focus is mainly on the quality. So we need to balance these triple constant with the quality framework. Now, why we need the project management? First, we need to understand the concept as of now, like today, in today's scenario, why we need the project management, or what is the scope and opportunity of the project management. Because if you see 200 or 300 years back, or in the early era, at that time also we do the projects. Taj Mahal is a very good project. Great Wall of China is a very good project. There are so many good projects which is still we are able to see. But at that time we were not focused on the project management. But now in this area, irrespective of the field, irrespective of the industry, we have to focus on the project management. So there are basically three C. Which create basically a huge opportunity and the scope in the field of the project management, the competition. So you can see now, competition is increasing day by day in the industry. So you can take a mobile phone. There are lots of manufacturers. There are lots of brands in the mobile phone. If you go into your market, you will see lots of Vivo, Oppo, shops. You name it, car brand. If you talk about 20 years back, there was only car brand. Or very few car brand in India. But now we have lots of car brands. So competition is increasing day by day. Because of that, we need to manage everything. So we require the project management. The customization. What does mean by customization? Now, when we're talking about the customization, every customer nowadays want to customize their product as per their requirement. It's not like that in before 20 years back. When we need to buy the mobile phone, we have to buy only that Nokia 1100. But now, when you're going to buy the mobile phones, you customize yourself. I need this much of RAM. I need the camera quality. I need power backup. You customize yourself. You name it any product. You first customize as per your requirement, and then you buy the product as which will match your customization parameters. So the customization of the customer is increasing day by day. So we need to manage the customer expectation, the complexity. Because of the customization, every customer, they have their own expectations. So complexity of the project, complexity of the product is increasing day by day. So because of 3C, I would say there is a huge requirement, huge scope in the project management. I can show you in the figure that there's a worldwide data that every year we are spending almost $15 trillion we are spent on the project through the worldwide. And the last year data was this year 2020, we are increasing this our budget by 5 billion to 7.5 billion on the project. So you can see there's a huge investment we are doing in the project. Just imagine if you're not able to balance the triple constant, the time, scope, and the cost. And if you say the only 1% of the amount if we are going to waste because of the unbalance of the triple constant, then just imagine 1% of 15 trillion amount. So this is I'm just taking 1%, but actual figure is far beyond this percent 1%. It is into the 2 digit. Okay, so just imagine now how much money we are wasting just to we are not able to balance this triple constant. So if we start balancing this triple constant, then definitely we can achieve our objective, our organization goal in an effective manner. Now, how to manage this? Okay, now as of now we understood what we need to do, what we need to manage. Now how we can manage? We talk about project management, like it's application of knowledge, skill, and tools and techniques. Okay, knowledge we have, skills we have, now we need to use the tools. So when you're talking about the project planning and management, there are two tools which is using in the industry. Almost 90% of the industry, they use these two tools. One is Microsoft Project, which is by the Microsoft, and second one is the Oracle Primavera, which is Oracle product. Today we are going to discuss about the Oracle Primavera, like its features, like how it is going to be help in your organization for the project planning and management, and what is the scope when we are talking about the industry. So before going into the Oracle Primavera again, I want to explain you this one cycle that is called the project life cycle. I'm sure that few of you are aware of this project life cycle. So in the project life cycle, we have 5 phases. First is initiation, then planning, then execution, then monitoring, controlling, then closing. So these are the 5 phases. So now how we use these 5 phases in the software. So in the initiation, you get the project. Okay, you got the tender, you got the LOA from your client. This this is defined project charter that you have to execute this particular task. So that is the initiation process. Now we need to plan. Okay, so that planning we will do in this software. We plan the roadmap. We will plan how we are going to execute this particular project, how much time it is going to be used, how much cost is going to be used. So again, we plan in the terms of these triple constant. Then execution, we need to execute what we plan. Okay, so once we start the execution, our monitoring and controlling will automatically start. Now what does mean by the execution? If you're talking about the construction site, whatever the work which we are doing at this site, we need to update all the data into the software. That is the execution. Okay, so we need to track whether we are executing our project as per our plan or not. If there is any deviation, what is the impact? What is the impact on the cost and the time? Now, what is the forecast value? So everything we do in the monitoring and controlling, we do tracking. When did the class started? Just 10 minutes before I started this class. Okay, so now the 5th phase is closing. Okay, whenever we execute the project, when everything is going well, then we need to find out the reports. We need to close so many documentation that we will do in the closing. So out of these 5 phases, 4 phases work which we will do in this software. We plan, we monitor, control, and we close. Okay. So now I'll come back to the Oracle Primavera. What is the invisible factor in the Primavera? So before going to Primavera, just let's say what is the what is Primavera? What is the definition of the Primavera? So Primavera is basically P6 Enterprise Project Portfolio Management Solution. It is robust and easy to use integrated solution for globally prioritizing, planning, managing, executing project program and the portfolio. Now, there's 3 terms called as the projects, program, and the portfolio. Do you have any idea what is called as the projects? We have discussed what is the definition of the project. So do you have any idea what is program and what is portfolio? If you have any idea, you can type your answer into the chat box. What is program and what is portfolio? Okay, so program we call as program as a group of similar project. Okay, project is your single project. We call as program as the group of similar project, similar nature of the project, and the portfolio is a group of similar, unsimilar program and the projects. I'll give you an example. We take the L&T. Okay, L&T is a group in which we have construction, we have infrastructure, we have manufacturing, we have IT sectors. So they have different programs. Under each division, construction, they have construction projects, manufacturing, they have manufacturing projects, IT, they have IT projects. So this vertical we call as the program because it is the group of similar projects. So this IT is a program, construction is a program, manufacturing is a program, and whole IT is the portfolio, which will have the different kinds of project, different kinds of the program. So L&T as a group is the portfolio. So why we call as Oracle Primavera is the enterprise project portfolio management solution, because it will help us to manage the our project at the portfolio level. We can analyze, we can track, we can do lots of analysis at the portfolio level, at the group level. So that's why it is called as the P6 Enterprise Project Portfolio Management Solution. Okay. Now, the component of Primavera is so there are a few components like one is the Primavera P6 Professional Client, which is basically a standalone version, which is the system based software which you can use for planning and everything. The second one is the web mode, which is basically server based software. You can install at the in your server and you can track, you can access from your IP address. Okay, now Oracle BI. When we are talking about the graphical reports in the Primavera, there's a limitation in the graphical reports, or I would say it's a smart work by the Oracle. There we have very limited graphical reports when you're talking about the default application of the Primavera. Yes, we can do any tabular reports, but now they have the extra, add-on software that is called the Oracle BI, Business Intelligence software, which is used for the graphical reports. If you want to create a graphical reports, you need to buy that. You need to integrate with the Primavera. The fourth one is the mobile app. Okay, so Primavera will have the very unique feature that you can have the mobile application. You can link with your server, and whatever the projects you have at your office, you can access through your mobile app. You can update, you can track in your mobile phone. This app is basically created only for the top management person, because they just need to analyze while they are traveling. So it's very useful for the higher management person. The progress reporter. Okay, so now when you're talking about the reports in our daily life in the construction site, so daily we have DPR, like daily progress report, which comes from the site to office in any format, through mail or through Excel, in any format. But progress reporter is the application where which we install at this site, and whatever the daily report daily task is happening at the site, they can just update into the progress reporter, and it will automatically updated in the system or the server. So these are the five component of the Oracle Primavera. Now, key feature of the Oracle Primavera is we can create the project. We will discuss one by one how we can plan and how we can monitor. So these are the features, like you can create the projects. You can do scheduling. You can do resource management. You can do tracking. You can do risk management. Then we have an option called reporting and the security features. The Primavera is the most advanced feature. Is this security? You can secure your project. I'll show you. Okay, so I'll now onwards I'll explain like how we can plan. Okay, what are the steps while we are planning the projects. So first the task is we need to create the EPS. So this is the screenshot. Like, so as I told you, Primavera is used for the project portfolio management solution. So EPS is basically your portfolio. So where you can have a portfolio. So if you see in this screen, so we have portfolio called as enterprise, which will have this sub portfolio or the program called as engineering, construction, energy services, manufacturing, product development, corporate programs. So these are the program under that we have the many projects. So engineering construction, we have all the project related to the engineering construction. The energy services, we have all the project related to the energy services. The manufacturing, we will have the all the projects related to the manufacturing. So first the task is we need to create the EPS. Now we need to create the calendar. Okay, so anybody have any idea about like why we do it? Why do we need to create a calendar in the project management software or Primavera? What does it mean by the calendar? Any idea? Working schedule. Yes, so we create a calendar basically to define the working hours. Okay, working hours of our task, working hour of our project. Okay, so why we need to have the calendar? Because every project situation is different with the no other project. So and even in the same projects, we need to have a multiple calendar. We will have one typical task which is happening at the our head office, probably design, probably the procurement, and site is located at some other remote location. So where we'll have different time zone. So we create a calendar to define what is the working hour of our task, or working hours of our activity. Then we put the all the holidays, like what is the exception, holidays like 26th of January, 15th August, Labor Day, or any other holiday we can add. So our whole project will move according to our predefined calendar or predefined working hours. So that's why we can create a calendar. Now, the next step is we need to create a project. Okay, after the EPS, we need to create a project. Then we need to divide our project into the WBS. Okay, so WBS is called as the work breakdown structure. We need to break down our project. So let's say your project is to create a building. Okay, so there's a building construction project. So under the building construction project, what is the sub projects? Okay, or what is the WBS? WBS is also called as the work packages. Okay, so if you see in the screen, we have divided. One is the high rise building project that we have divided into construction. Then further we divided into the temporary fire station. Then further divided into the porta cabin and overhead tanks. Then again with the same level temporary fire station we have pump room. Then again we have divided pump room into the area wise. Then we have again pump room 2. So similarly we can divide like what is the design or you can say you can divide the WBS into the department wise, like design, procurement, construction. Under the construction you will have multiple, you have MEP, you have interior designing, and so on. So you can divide your project into the work packages, that is called as the WBS. Once you define the WBS, you need to add the activity. Activity is basically the smallest level of your project which cannot be further divided or which should not be further divided. So if you see in this project, in the design and engineering, so we have the activity. What actually we need to do at the smallest level. So we divide, we put all the activity and we give the duration. If you see in the screen, we have the original duration. Now we cannot presume or we cannot say that okay, I'll take exact this much of the duration to complete the project. Okay, because we can we can find out the tentative numbers, but we cannot come up with the exact number. But if you see the activity which is the smallest level, so as experience you know how much time it will take to for the excavation of 100 meters, or how much time it will take to paint a wall. So at smallest level or activity level you can define the duration of your task, or of your activity. So once you define the activity, we define the task, we define we define the duration of the activity. Okay, so once we define the activity, once you define the duration, the next step is we need to define the relationship between the activities. Okay, so what are the relationship between two activities? If you see in the Gantt chart or in graphical picture, so there is an arrow. So there these are the relationship basically. So when you're talking about the project management, so we have four types of relationship: finish to start, start to finish, start to start, finish to finish. So these are the four types of relationship which we use to define the what is the relationship between the activities. Okay, like finish to start means on my first activity will get finished, then only the second activity will start. So that is the finish to start. So similarly, we have another relationship which we define. So once we define the relationship, we need to define the scheduling. We need to find out the total duration of the task. So you might have heard about the PERT CPM method. Okay, so if you know, if you have heard about the PERT CPM, CPM is critical path method, please type yes. I know I've heard about the CPM. If you don't know, please mention no. Okay. CPM is basically the critical path method which is used for the scheduling purpose. It's a net. We create a network diagram. Okay, it's a completely it's a complete method that through we use this method to find out the total duration of the project. Anyway, software will teach you. Software will have the automatic function. Every software you name it. Asta Power Project, you name it. MSP, you name it. Oracle Primavera, they use CPM method for the scheduling purpose. Okay, although we cannot calculate critical path method of thousands of activities, that's why we use the this software for the scheduling purpose. So the software will use CPM method for scheduling. Now, what we get in the scheduling? So we got 5 parameters when we do the scheduling. The 5 parameters are, we got the total duration of the project. So as of now, once you define the duration, you define the duration activity wise. Okay, so I need this much of time to paint a wall. I need this much time to do this particular task. I need particular duration to for one design. Okay, but what is the total exact duration of your WBS? What is the exact duration of your project? So that will software will calculate, and through the CPM method, software will give you the total duration of your project. So first parameter the software will give you is the total duration of your project. So if you see in this screen, So we have given in the design WBS, so we have 5 to 6 activity. So we have divided like for first activity we need 6 days, then 41 days. Then we come up with the total duration of the project is 520 days. So I need 520 days to complete a complete project. This is the exact duration of your project. The second parameter which you will get after the scheduling is the start date and the finish date of each activity of each WBS and each and the project. Okay, when you create a project, you just put the start date of the project, nothing else. Okay, so but based on the relationship, based on the duration, the software will give you what is the start date of your activity and what is the finish date of your activity. Similarly for the WBS, similarly for the project. So this is the second parameter. The third parameter which you will get is the critical path. What is the longest path of your project? So we got the critical path. Fourth parameter is the critical task and the non-critical task. So what are the critical tasks in your project? What are the non-critical tasks in your project? So critical tasks are basically those tasks which will not have any buffer time. Now what does it mean by the buffer time is, let's say you define that I want to finish this, that I'm going to finish this particular task in 10 days. So if the task is critical, you have to finish in 10 days. So if you delay beyond the 10 days, let's say you took 11 days, then your project will also get delayed. Okay, so once you cross the predefined duration of your task, then your project will get delayed. So this is the critical task. So as a project manager, our focus should be always be on the critical task. Now, what are the non-critical tasks? So every critical task will have some buffer time. So in the Primavera, we use the term as the float, FLOAT, for the buffer time. So if you see, if you're able to see in the screen, all the red line after the scheduling, we got this type of schedule. All the red lines, all the red bar, this bar are my critical task, and all the green are the non-critical tasks, which will have some buffer time. Now let's say we have one activity and we need to finish in 10 days. Based on the scheduling software give us 3 days as the float value of the 3 days. Now I can finish this activity in 13 days. So instead of 10 days, I can delay this activity by 3 days without the delaying the total project. So based on the critical task and non-critical task, I can take a decision like what which is my priority. Okay. So that is the fourth parameter, and the fifth parameter the software will give you after scheduling is the float, the total amount of buffer time on the activity. So that is the float. So that is your scheduling, which is just a one-click process in your software, but it's completely formula-based technique which software use for the scheduling. Now after the scheduling, okay, so in you can ask the question later. Okay, if you have any doubt, we will have the question answer QA session at the last of this webinar. In that, I'll clear your doubts. Okay, so please be wait for the last session of the QA. Okay, now after the scheduling, okay, you have defined your what you are going to do. You have defined your work. You have defined your time also. So out of 3 parameters, 2 you have defined what you are going to do, how much time you will take to complete your project. So now we need to find out the third parameter, that is called as the cost. How much cost is going to be involved and who's going to execute this project. Okay, for executing the project and for the cost estimation, we need the resources. We use the resources. So when we are talking about the resource management process, there's few steps. First, in define the scope. Now when I'm talking about the resource, what do you understand by the resource? How many type of resources we use in the project? So type your answer. How many types of resources we have in our project, or we do use in our projects? Three. Okay. Okay. Which one? Which 3? Material, equipment, and the manpower. Right. Okay. But I would say we use 4 types of resources in the projects. Okay, the first is your which is the manpower, which will have all the labor, non-labor, your supervisor, your project manager, planning engineer, and so on. So all the manpower comes under man. Now the second resource is the machine. Okay, which is basically non-consumable items. All the machinery we use in the project. Then material, which is going to be consumed. The fourth one is the money, which is the cost. Apart from man, machine, and the material in the project, you will have some extra cost also, like in your traveling cost, your admin cost, and there's so many other costs we have when you're talking about the project. So money is the another resource. So the first step when we talk about the resource management is we need to define the resources. So as a project manager, you need to define how many resources do you require to finish this particular project. That sheet you will send to the procurement department, to the HR department, that I need this. I need this much of labor, this much of design engineer, I need this much of the material. So first thing is you need to define the resources. When you're talking about the Primavera, so there are four types of resources again, but in the resource we define three types. First is your labor, that is your manpower. Okay, so all your labor, non-labor, skilled labor, unskilled labor, welder, painter, design engineer, planning engineer, every manpower comes under the labor in the resource type. If you're able to see this screen, so we have resource type as the labor. Now machinery comes under the non-labor. The second type of the resources we have in the Primavera is the non-labor, which comes under the machinery. The material, the third type is material, which is basically non-consumable item. So we need to define how many labor we want, how many design engineer we want, so their quantity. Okay, so if you see in the detail window, the blue line, so this is the unit and price, and this is the maximum unit. So this is basically your quantity. How many labor do you require? How many design engineer do you require? How many site engineer do you require in your projects? Okay, now their standard price, now their rate. Okay, so as a project manager, you know what is the salary of your employee, of your team. You know what, you can put all the rates into number of hours per hour, per day, and per month. Let's say labor 100 rupees per hour, design engineer 300 rupees per hour, or 1000 rupees per day, project manager 5000 rupees per day. So you can put the rate in the number of hours, like per hour, per day, and the per month wise. It's up to you. Okay, so we need to define the resources. How many resources do we require, and what is the price of the resources? Once we define the resources, we need to assign these resources to the task. Okay, like as of now we have defined for all project how many resources we require. Now we will assign these resources to the activity. Okay, suppose there is an activity called excavations. For the excavation, we require backhoe loader machine, we require probably barricading, we require the labor, we require the operator, we require the site engineer. So what are the resources required at the activity level, and what is the quantity? So here if you see on this activity, so I have required these resources. So I have required the iron work, labor, construction, and the carpenter. So I have put these three resources required to finish this particular activity, and their units, they're basically the total quantity of the resources. So we need to assign these resources activity wise. So once we define the resources, it will give you the value, it will give you like this. So this is the resource analysis sheet, where you can analyze your resources. So let's say iron worker, which is assigned on so and so activity, and on the other hand, you will see on the day, okay, day wise, date wise, how much he is working on a particular activity. So this is 8 means he is working 8 hours per day on Wednesday on this particular activity. He is working 8 hours per day on Thursday on the second activity, which is foundation wall. So similarly, you will have the complete resource usage profile, how your resource is going to be used in your project. So why we do like this? We need to we use this resource sheet for the resource analysis. Okay, now what does mean by the analysis? The analysis is resource analysis is we need to optimize the resource. We need to make sure that as a project manager, I have to use maximum. I have to maximum usage of my resources. In the resource analysis, there's two terms basically called as the over allocation and the under allocation. Okay, so we do resource analysis to find out what is the over allocation, what is the under allocation, and then we do resource leveling to remove the over allocation and the under allocation. Now what does mean by the over allocation is, suppose you have the two design engineer in your project, and somewhere you required 4 or 3 design engineer in your projects on some activity. So let's say there is some activity which is going on parallelly, and you require 3 design engineer on a particular day. So but you have a 2 design engineer in your team, and you require 3 design engineers, so that is your over allocation. So software will give you this is the over allocation on this particular activity and this particular day. Now, under allocation, the vice versa. So let's say you have 50 labor in your project, but you are not using 50 labor at one time. At only some point, you're using the 50 labor. Rest of the days, somewhere you utilize 40 labor, somewhere you utilize 30 labor, somewhere you know utilize 25 labor. So rest of the labor is sitting idly. So which you have to arrange. You either you can send to some other site or you can do anything. So you need to understand that where my resources is being under allocated and the over allocated, that you need to do in the resource analysis. So if you see in this graph, so this is basically resource usage profile. Under that we have this one. So all the green, that means the under allocation, the black one is the limit. Okay, so if you see, as of this situation, all my resources are under allocated. So if it's the over allocated, the software will give you the red line. Okay, so this graph will go beyond this black line, and that will be in the red color. So in the red color, that means it is over allocated. So you need to remove this over allocation through the resource leveling, and this is the another way of doing the resource analysis through the tabular form. So in the resource leveling, we use to remove the over allocation and the under allocation, you do resource leveling. So in the software, you have both option for automatic leveling and the manual leveling. You can do both. So we remove the over allocation and the under allocation through resource leveling. Now, once you're done with the resource leveling, the software will give you the complete cost estimation, because you have assigned the resources to the task or to the activity, and you have assigned cost to the resources. So you will have a complete cost structure of your activity, of your WBS, of your project. So if you're able to see the screen, we have budgeted total cost of our activity, of our WBS, and of our project. Then we have the expense cost, which I talk about the the fourth resource is money. So to define the money, we have extra column, we have extra option called as the expense. So we need to define the money into the expense parameter. So here, like, if you're able to see, so we have crane as the expense, and this is the total cost of this crane. So $800 we required to hire a crane. So this is the extra expense. So although we can put into the equipment in the non-labor also, but we can add into the separate expense also. Now, so we have the total budgeted cost of the labor, we have total budgeted cost of the material and the non-labor. So after the resource analysis, the resource management, the software will give us the total cost estimation of our project. So once we're done with the resource management, all our three parameters, which is scope, which is time, which is the cost, is defined. Okay, so we have done with the first phase, that is called as the plan. We planned our project in the all three parameters. So once we plan, we need to update. We need to start execution. Okay, execution at the site. So whatever the happening at the site, we need to put all the data. So here's an option called status. So we need to put the status. So now in this software, we put the status, or when we talk about the how much percentage of the work has been completed. So they are basically three types. Well, first is your duration percentage. That means how much how much of your activity and the project has been completed in the terms of duration. Then we have the unit percentage, same in the terms of unit, or unit is called as the total work. And the physical percentage. That means physically, if you verify physically how much is the percentage completion, as per the physically. So we have all three types of the physical of the percentage complete. We need to put all the data. So here, if you see in I have marked. So here I need to add the status of my the task. Okay, what is the actual value? So what is the actual duration? Whether it started or not, or if there is any delay, you need to add each and every information. Like there's one task which you need to finish in 10 days. Okay, but in the actual scenario, how much duration you took, how much days you took to complete this particular task, whether it's 11 days or 30 days. So whatever the actual data, we need to put in this, we need to add into this software in the terms of days. Similarly, in the terms of labor. Okay, so I'll give you one condition. Suppose there is a one task, and you have defined that I will complete in the 10 days. Okay, after the 8 days, okay, you have worked for 8 days. After the 8 days, then you realize that I have just only 2 days to finish this particular task, but I need another 4 days to complete this task. So you need to add what is the actual date. Okay, 8 days you have utilized to complete the work, and another 4 days you require to finish this particular task. Based on that, software will give you how much percentage of work has been completed. Now you have worked for 8 days, so for 8 days, how much resources have worked? Okay, what is the cost of the resources? And for remaining 4 days, how much resources do you require to finish your work? So we need to put actual data. Okay, so I hope I'm clear with everyone. So if you're able to understanding what I'm saying, please mention yes, so that I can move confidently. Please mention yes if I'm able to explain it. I hope everyone is clear. I'll give you this thing. I'll repeat this example also. So let's say you have one task with the duration of the 10 days. Okay. So as per your plan, you need to finish this task in 10 days. Okay. But now comes to the execution point of view. After the 8 days, you have realized that you require another 4 days to complete this particular task. So this is the actual situation. So total days you will, you will take to complete this task is 8 days already gone. Then 4 days is another required. So total 12 days do you required to finish this particular task. Now after the 8 days, when you're talking about the duration percentage, you need to put that actual data 8 days, and the remaining is 4 days. So software will take okay total 12 days you took to complete this particular task. Similarly, we need to put the data in the labor unit or the into the resource update also. So for the 8 days, how much resource have worked? Okay, so let's say there's one labor is working 8 hours per day. So we put 8 into 6, 48 hours. This labor has worked for on this particular task. Now, how much resource do you require in another 4 days to complete particular task? Okay, so all this data we need to put, and based on this data, the software will give you what is your percentage complete of your particular task. Okay, this lots of calculations are there, which we teach in training time. Okay, so these are the two data which we need to update, and physically you can directly put like as per my the site visit, this work is only completed this much percentage, 20% or 30%. You can directly put manually. Okay, so there's no calculation behind the physical percentage. Okay, so we need to update the data as per the actual situation. Okay, how we update the data? Okay, so we use the data date. Okay, there's a term called data date. Okay, so data date is basically predefined date on which we update our project. Okay, let's say your project duration is for 1 year, and your client or your stakeholder is asking that every 30 days I need the updates reports. Okay, so you put all the data, all the task which is completed or which is in progress for last 30 days. So you put all this actual data into your software, and then you do tracking. Okay, so once you update your once you update the actual situation, you need to track, you need to give the lots of parameters, lots of reports. Based on that, you can take the further action, or you can take the further decision, like how you can proceed further. So this is how if I update my, so there's a task. So originally it should take, the original duration for this task is 36 days. What is the actual duration is 100 days. So instead of 36 days, you took 100 days time to finish this particular task. Okay, you click started, you click finished, and now duration percentage is 100%. You completed your project 100%, but you, instead of 36 days, you took 100 days time to finish this particular task. In the Gantt chart, all the blue line is like you have completed your task. Okay, so this, whatever you are doing in the tabular form in the Gantt chart, it will automatically updating. So if you see this blue line, okay, this blue line, that means you have updated your project on this particular date. Okay, so before that, all your task has been updated. So this is how the software will give you the information. And because of the delay, now what is the impact? What is the deviation in my duration, in my cost? So that you need to analyze. Okay, so we utilize earned value management technique that we call as the EVM technique for the forecasting. Now, because of this delay, what will be the my future value? What will be the estimate to complete the task? What will be the schedule variance? What will be the cost variance? So there are lots of parameters we use in the earned value management, and we don't need to calculate manually. The software will give you each and every information. You just need to analyze the whole data, and you need to find out the what will be the forecast value, so that you can take take as the manager, you can take the further decision how you should move on this particular project. Okay, so once you track the your project, there's an option called risk register. Whatever the risk will happen, or whatever the risk will be there in your project, you can create a risk sheet, and you can put all your tentative risks in your project. What will be the probability? What will be the impact on schedule? What will be the impact on cost? What is their risk score? And based on the score, you can set the priority which risk need to be solved first. Who identify the risk? Who will be the responsible person to solve this risk? What is the status of the risk? So everything you can define in your software. Okay, so let's say resource availability. Because of the resource availability, there's a risk in my project, and because of that risk on the schedule, it is going to impact very high. Okay, on the cost, it is going to impact on a medium. What is the probability of that risk is high, 50 to 70%. Now, what is the total score of the risk, which is 56? So once you define these parameters, the software will give you automatically the score value, and based on the score value, you can set a priority that which risk is going to be solved first. So this is the risk register which we use in the software. When we once we're done with the risk register, we need to find out the reports. Okay, as I told you, Primavera is not so good for the graphical reports. You have to use the add-on application, but for the tabular reports, Primavera have more than 200 inbuilt templates for the reports, which you can directly generate, and you can directly take printout. You can modify your reports. You can create your own reports also. Okay, so these are the reports options. So let's say, so these are the templates. So activity code value. If you want to find out the reports for the resources, if you want to find out the reports for the cost, so Primavera will have all the templates, predefined template in the software, and you can just run, and you can just generate the reports. So these are the reports on the earned value for my project. So what is the plan value? What is the earned value? What is the actual cost? What is BAC, ETC, AC, and VAC for my project? So this is the reports format which you will get, and you can customize the format. You want to add some other information, you can customize. So this is the final report which you will get to the Primavera. Now the security wise, so Primavera is the best software when you're talking about the security. Security means you can secure your data. You in the Primavera, what we do, we create the profile as per the hierarchy, or as per the responsibility of our team. So let's say there's a junior planning engineer, we can just enter the task which you don't want to allow him to analyze the data or analyze the your schedule. So you can give you can create a login ID and the password, and you can put the authority to access this particular project. So let's say you are VP or CO, which will have all the access throughout all the project. So you will have the complete authority for one project manager who is the also responsible for only one project. So you can assign that he can access anything in the one project, but he cannot access the portfolio. So security wise, it's very useful software which will have most advanced features regarding this security. You can create the user ID and password. Okay, this is the screenshot of the web-based software, which will have the few advanced feature which is not available in the professional client, like dashboard. Okay, so dashboard is basically the single screen where we can have all the information related to our project. So, and in the graphical form and the tabular form. So this is my dashboard where I can see. I can do lots of portfolio analysis. I can see lots of parameters on a. I can see my project status by on a different parameters. So this is the dashboard which you used to create. So this is another dashboard what is the valuation metrics, resource analysis chart. We have IT investment. We have issue reports. So this is another where we have forecast analysis report. As of date, what is my status? Okay. So if you're able to see for the construction project, I have multiple projects. For all project as of now, to date, as of now, what is the status? Now, what will be the forecast at completion? Okay, so you can analyze all your data. We do portfolio analysis. Portfolio analysis, you can compare the two projects on a different parameter. So you can put what if value, and you can, based on the what if value, the software will give you the what will be the impact or what will be the result. So you can do what if analysis on the portfolio also. This like how mobile application work. It's available for Android and iPhone also. So this is how you this is the active task which is currently in progress, and what is the status. Any comment you want to add, you can add your comment. Anything you want to customize, you can customize. And this is the BI publisher, so which I talked to you. You can use BI publisher for the graphical reports. So we use add-on application of the Oracle. We integrate with the software, and it will give us whatever the parameter or data we have in the Oracle, that you can see. You can create a graphical reports in this manner. Okay, now what is the Primavera market into the worldwide? Almost 30%, market, like 25% of the world GDP, which I talk $15 trillion they spent projects, and almost 18% of the company, they use Primavera to manage their projects. Okay, we are talking about out of 600 engineering, construction, 575 companies, they use Oracle Primavera to manage their project. Out of 20 power companies, 17 they use Primavera. Out of 10 oil companies, they use 9 to manage the Primavera. Out of 10 leading Indian contractor, you can name it, L&T, DLF, Adani, anyone, they use Primavera to manage their projects. Out of 10 top aerospace defense services, 9 they use this Primavera. When you're talking about the industry, so Primavera is not any industry specific. When you're talking about architecture and engineering construction firm, it will help us to improve the collaboration and the coordination between the team, because in the engineering and construction firm, there are lots of subcontractor and vendors are there. For MEP, there's a different vendor. Painter, there's a different vendor. So there are lots of vendors. So we need to collaborate. We need to have a good communication and collaboration between these vendors. So we use by using the software, it will improve the collaborations. We're talking about aerospace and defense services. It will help us to manage the large program with the multiple supplier and contractor. I'll come up with the certification. Okay, then oil and gas. In the oil and gas, normally we have short duration project for like maintenance and all these things, so which will very high risk task. So Primavera will help to manage this high risk task. In the manufacturing, we can increase the collaboration between the suppliers. We can use this software in the supply chain management. When you're talking about the IT sector, it will help us to prioritize our project on the strategic objectives. When you're talking about the India now, in India, even the use and the scope of this software is increasing day by day. Now, Indian government, they're working on that. They're putting mandatory condition that if they want to execute, if any contractor or subcontractor want to execute this project, they have to use Primavera. So this is the one clause of the CPWD. So all the CPWD contractor or who work for CPWD, they have to use Oracle Primavera if the project cost is more than 20 CR, and if it's the cost is 5 CR to 20 CR, they can use MSP. But more than if the project cost is more than 20 CR, they have to use Primavera to submit the schedule, or even to submit tender also. So, and in the CPWD, the 20 CR cost is nothing. So you can just imagine what is the scope when you're talking about in India. So what is the future of the Primavera software? Okay, so as I told you, this software is not any industry specific. You can use in any industry, whether it's IT, manufacturing, engineering, construction, defense, EPC, healthcare, oil, gas, power sector. In any sector, you can use this application. And if you're looking for a job based on this application, so there are few jobs like project coordinator. You can work as a project coordinator. You can work as a scheduler. You can work as a PMO consultant. You can work as the planning engineers. So the conclusion of this, Oracle Primavera, we use Primavera. It will help us to use project resource effectively. We can track our project teams. We can prioritize our effort. We can collaborate with the other application. We can manage our project, profitably. We can review and prioritize our organization projects. Okay, so this is the total overall conclusion of the Primavera. So when we are talking about the training, so we do lots of training on the Oracle Primavera. So this is our online course, which is running every weekend or weekdays. So weekdays we have 7 days course, weekend we have 6 days course on the Oracle Primavera. So we do this training. If you're talking about the investment or the cost, so normally for Primavera P6 the fees is 16,900. But because of this lockdown situation, we are giving this Primavera certification or Primavera training in 6,500 or $90. So in this fees, you will have the training, you will have the project based training, you will have the ebooks, you will have this certification also, and the lifetime support. If you want if you want any kind of assistant after the training, you will get the assistant whenever you want. You can ask your question, you can solve your queries. So this is the fees if you want to join for full training program. This is my contact number. You can call me. You can contact me for further information. Or if you don't want to join, that is also fine. If you need any kind of if you want to solve any query, if you have any query, if you want have any doubt, anytime you can ask me on this number. I'm always available. Both my number are available on WhatsApp. So this is from my side. Thank you so much for joining this webinar. It was a fabulous, webinar that quietly you were listening me, and I hope you got something through this webinar. So these are my contact details, my personal mail ID, official mail ID. So you can ask me, any questions now. So if you have any question, you can ask me, or if you have any doubts, you can contact me later also. So if you have any question, you can unmute yourself and you can ask.